So hello and welcome to Field Mixologist. So today what we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to hopefully finish this Dellorto carb that we're doing on a mini for a mini manifold, British Leyland Mini, BMC Mini A Series engine, whatever you want to call it. And so what I wanted to show you is the particular setup that I'm going to do for this carb. And actually, where's my source for doing it? Now, I'm going to use as a source this particular book from David Vizard. Now, just to clarify, I don't get any sponsorship or anything from Mr. Vizard. I bought this book with my own money because it's brilliant. It has a very handy table on this page that details all the setup for this sort of carb. So what I am doing is I am setting this carb up for a 1275 engine that has been modified for fast road use. So the formula is 38 chokes, 180 main jets, 0.5 emulsion tube, 170 air corrector, 60 on the idle, and 40 on the pumps. Yeah, 40 on the pumps. So now I'm going to start putting all together, putting this stuff all together. Now, some thoughts about, and obviously when I put it on the manifold, you need to obviously put this Swedish Missab plates. This is the right way to install a carb, and also you have to use these things that are like flexible, flexibles for the screws, so that the carb needs to have some give. It cannot be bolted so tightly against the manifold. So this is the right way of setting up this carbs. Now, a couple of thoughts on the tuning for the carbs, because first of all, manifold. Now there are some manifolds, you need to see it here from like center line to center line more or less. Now there are some manifolds called the swan neck manifold, which is basically like here and it goes like this, so you'll see it like this. Do not use those manifolds, they're not very good. You need something that is the straightest shot you can to the port, so to make sure that it flows properly. Again, advice from Mr. Vizard here, he knows what he's talking about. So now what I need to do is put all this stuff together, and also very important, I'll show you in a bit when I show you the finished package. You need to, and absolutely need to, have the kind of trumpets at the front of the carb. I actually have some 45 trumpets that I'm gonna include with this. So I'll show you in a bit what that does look like. Okay, so as I promised in the previous segment, I wanted to show you how this thing looks completely assembled. So obviously it's a bit loose yet. I haven't tightened it because I need to photograph the item, so I need to take this off. But this is how it would look installed in the car. Now, a couple of comments that I need to say about jetting for this carb. If you're used to working with twin carbs, you might be thinking 180 on the main jets is just too much for a 1275cc capacity engine, and you would be right, except that you have to bear in mind with the British Leyland Mini that each barrel of the carb is feeding two cylinders, because the cylinder heads in the in the British Leyland Mini, they have Siamese intake ports. That means that that two cylinders share one of these intakes here and here, and therefore that means that that's why you need to approach the the, the jetting of this carb slightly differently than if it was a normal kind of twin carb for a 4-cylinder engine. And that's why I had to use that book so I could get a ballpark measure of the tuning. Now, does that mean that it would be absolutely bang on for nearly every engine and that kind of stuff? No. It will depend a lot on the specific setup of specific engines, but at least I know, having used the guidelines in the book with all the things I've done here, I know that for a 1275 engine, relatively hotish, I know that things will be more or less on the ballpark. So I think this carb should fire straight out of the box, and it might be a bit rich, might be a bit lean. It won't be lean for sure, because I've jetted it quite fat as a kind of precaution, so that you don't get detonation and that kind of stuff. But this thing should work pretty much out of the box, and it might need some minor adjustment to a jet or something, but that should be really minor. So and also I was going to show you this, the air horn trumpets, whatever you want to call it. This is an absolutely fundamental part of the carb, and they need to be included in the item because they order the airflow into the carb. So this is a very important part of the rig as well. So I think this brings us to an end of this Dellorto build. Unfortunately, we couldn't build the twin carb setup, but we had to pivot it to this, and actually I think it turned out really nicely. So now I just need to kind of photograph this rig in its entirety with a measuring tape next to it, so people can have an idea of how long and how tall this is, and it's off to the good old eBay to be sold. So I'll see you on the next project.